Hey there guys, welcome back to another video. In today's video, we're going to unbox and take a look at the iPhone 15 Pro Max in blue titanium. I did get the base storage, which is now 256 gigs, up from 128 gigs last year. However, of course, they increased the price to $11.99 for that model. You also still have the option of 512 gigs or 1 terabyte storage as well. The 15 Pro and 15 Pro Max come in 4 different colors. Of course, I have the blue titanium. It also comes in natural titanium, white titanium, and black titanium. Checking out the box, of course, you can see our beautiful new 15 Pro Max. We have that new wallpaper. Dynamic Island is still here from last year. We do have slightly minimal bezels from last year, so they are slightly smaller. You can see that this is the blue titanium, so we have blue writing on the Apple logo and iPhone logo all the way around. And of course, on the back, we have iPhone 15 Pro Max and everything it includes in the box. All right, let's go ahead and open it up. So we have the top tab and our bottom tab. On top, we have our iPhone 15 Pro Max. We have our new USB-C to USB-C braided cable and documentation. As with iPhone 14's lineup last year, the iPhone 15 lineup also features eSIM only on United States models, so you do get this little notice letting you know about that. You also have a little bit of extra information as well as an Apple sticker. And taking a look at the back of our blue titanium, it absolutely looks gorgeous. This is definitely reminding me of the iPhone 12 Pro and 12 Pro Max Pacific Blue, but it is a bit on the darker side, but absolutely gorgeous. See our Apple logo, and you can see our camera module there. And you can see on the side our blue titanium. So you can see our 5G window is a little bit darker, power button on the side. And that is still brushed like the other models, just very dark, but looks really, really nice. You may have seen some videos of the coating. I'm not sure how well that will age. We'll find out. As you can see at the bottom, we do have our USB-C charging port. And on the side, we have our new action button, volume buttons as well, but absolutely gorgeous first impressions of this color. All right, we'll take our screen protector off and turn it on for the first time. All right, we're gonna go ahead and set it up as a new phone. I'll show you how it looks out of the box. One new addition for setup that I've noticed is the appearance option. So as you can see here, you can go through and keep it on default, medium, or large text. Another addition in the setup process is it does let you know there is a silent mode in the control center now. And we can also now customize the action button from our setup. So we have this nice graphic of the phone, hit customize, brings it close, and you can see by default it is set to silent mode. We can go over to focus. You can also put it on do not disturb. We also have camera, and then from here you can choose photo, selfie, video, portrait, or portrait selfie when you hit the action button. We also have our flashlight, voice memo, magnifier, as well as shortcuts. So if you have a shortcut already in your Shortcuts app, you can use that, or you can create a new one right from here. And of course, hopefully, they will expand on this and add more functionality as time goes on. All right, so here we are. And this is how the phone will look out of the box. So as you can see, we have those 2 widgets. We have all these apps here, and then we have some apps on the other screen as well. And it's using the iOS 17 wallpaper. Out of the box, you can see we are running iOS 17.0. We are now on iOS 17.0.2 due to some issues with activation and setup. If you do get the 256 gig model like I did, you will have 238.85 gigs out of the box to use. Now, if you're coming from an older iPhone, you may be not familiar with the Dynamic Island. This was introduced last year with the iPhone 14 Pro and Pro Max. And as you can see, it's just the camera and sensors connected by OLED here at the top, so it looks like an island. But it has extra functionality. So for example, if you add a timer here and swipe up, you can see that you can now see your timer up here. And there are a bunch of different apps that use the Dynamic Island. Now, as you saw in setup, I did have the action mode set to silent. So of course, right now, when I press that, it's going to change between ring and silent mode. However, you can change this later just by going to settings, and you just go to action button here, and you get that same UI, and you can go and change this to whatever you like. So if I want to change it to the camera, I can change it to the selfie camera here. And then once I press this, hold it to open, brings up our selfie camera. So as I mentioned, hopefully they will change this over time and add more features, maybe double tap, triple tap, and I'm sure that's been mentioned a couple times between a couple reviews you may have seen. Another change, of course, is in our camera. We have better portrait mode, and we also have 5x optical zoom. So that is a really nice thing to see. So we also can go all the way up to 25x zoom digitally, which is really nice to see. As you may know that the iPhone 14 Pro Max and previous would only go up to 15x. So 25x is definitely a step in the right direction. The 5x optical zoom is a welcome change. Another change for the camera is the formats. So as you can see for our photo mode, we now have the ability to change between 12 and 24 megapixel, and that option is not available on the 14 Pro Max. We also have some additional options for Pro RAW. So we have HEIF Max up to 48 megapixel, Pro RAW 12 megapixel, and Pro RAW Max up to 48 megapixel when we only had 12 and 48 before. And just to give you a quick comparison between the previous iPhone 14 Pro Max, I do have this one in the purple color from last year. So as you may recall, the 12 Pro and 12 Pro Max were in Pacific Blue. That was the color for that year. iPhone 13 had Sierra Blue, and we had purple last year. You can see that it is definitely different, but I really think the blue titanium looks absolutely gorgeous. Now, another difference, of course, is the materials. So as you can see, we had stainless steel on last year's model and prior models, and we now have titanium. One other change I can see here, it looks like the 5G window may be a little bit larger. Yes, it is a little bit larger from the 14 Pro Max. And the funny thing was, last year I noted that the iPhone 14 Pro Max's 5G window was larger than the 13. So that just keeps getting bigger every year, it looks like. The other difference, of course, is the change from the silent switch to the action button. So the action button gives you choices of using the camera, Siri shortcuts, or other different options, which I'll show you in the setup. But yeah, as you can see, the stainless steel, very smudgy. But again, not sure how the titanium will age over time. Comparing the iPhone 14 Pro Max and the iPhone 15 Pro Max, you can see that the bezel has been reduced just so slightly. We still have, of course, the dynamic island at the top, and it has slightly curved around the edges on the front and back of the 15 Pro Max, while the front and back of the 14 Pro Max were much sharper and more squared off. And here's a quick look at the blue titanium versus the white titanium. So as you can see, our blue is very reminiscent of the Pacific Blue from the iPhone 12 Pro, but looks absolutely beautiful. You can see it's quite dark in comparison to our white titanium. And taking a look at the railing, you can definitely see that the blue and the titanium black will definitely show smudges worse than the white titanium and the natural titanium. So if you're worried about scratches, I would definitely look into the white titanium or the natural, because even just now you can see all of these smudges on the blue. So my first impressions of the 15 Pro Max are good. Definitely feels like an iterative improvement, but of course, definitely the thinner bezels are welcome. The addition of USB-C, better camera with that 5x optical zoom, and of course, titanium to reduce weight is definitely a welcome feature. So beautiful blue. Definitely a nice improvement. So if you're coming from an older phone, maybe a 12 Pro or 12 Pro Max or 13 Pro Max even, this is definitely going to be a nice upgrade. So there you guys have it. Any questions or comments on this, feel free to leave them down below, and I'll see you guys in the next video.